but I mean, you control the entire field, essentially. You got Hunter Sr., Nick Abiak, Josh Adams all together in the top four.
Into turns 3 and 4 for the final time here at Charlotte. Checkered flag, Sebastian Marin wins on HMS TV.
Now, Iowa Speedway may measure at only 7/8 of a mile, but there is nothing small about the challenge waiting tonight. The Fire for Effect Foundation heads towards Newton, Iowa, for a race where speed, tire management, and traffic will constantly collide. Iowa is short enough that the leaders can reach slower cars quickly, yet fast enough that every mistake through the corner will carry momentum all the way to the next one. The progressive banking gives the drivers options. Some will attack the shortest route around the bottom. Others will begin searching for higher lines as the tires wear. And over a green flag run, the fastest line may be moved several times before the night is over. That makes patience every bit as important as aggression. Burn up the tires early and the car may disappear beneath you later. Wait too long to make a move and the traffic ahead may close the door. For the Fire for Effect Foundation, the racing has always carried a purpose beyond the checkered flag. But once the green flag comes out tonight, every driver in the field has the same objective. Find the grip, manage the tires, survive the traffic, be there when it matters. This is the Fire for Effect Foundation racing at Iowa Speedway. Let's go racing, folks. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's a pleasure to be with you as always on behalf of Fire for Effect Foundation. I'm your host, Sagar Bakshi, taking you from green to checker flag for Digital Racing Sports Network. Thank you very much to our sponsors tonight, Bubba Meyers Custom Designs, a partner of Juicy Spiders Studios. If you're interested in getting a custom design, look no further than Bubba Meyers Custom Work, starting at just $25, and get yourself looking just as snazzy as the Fire for Effect Foundation team. Also, proudly partnered with RKM Setup Shop. If you're looking for a setup for these Arca machines, look no further than getting one dialed in from the Engineered by Nexus crew. RKM Setup Shops has all of your Arca car needs. Taking a look at the schedule, we've been to Bristol, Pocono, Phoenix, Echo Park. Now it's Rock and Iowa time. Then we'll round things off on August 28th at Kansas Speedway. No stages here. It'll be 150 laps of running for the drivers to contend around this paved circuit. Iowa Speedway was co-founded and designed with significant involvement from NASCAR champion Rusty Wallace. As construction began in 2005 and facility opened in September of 2006, its D-shaped 7/8 mile layout was created with some of the same short track characteristics that made Richmond so successful. The track welcomed its first NASCAR National Series event in 2009 with Brad Keselowski winning the inaugural nationwide series event and Mike Skinner winning the first Truck Series race here. NASCAR purchased Iowa Speedway in 2013, and the venue finally hosted its first Cup Series in 2024. Qualifying session about to tick over. We'll get the drivers gridded up and rearing and ready to go. let's take a look at our starting grid. It'll be John Williams Sr. and Sean Hook on the first row. Row number 2 belongs to Derek Darby and Jason Trockey. Row number 3 is filled with Jason McCook and DJ Patterson, the number 36. Then we have row number 4 with Christopher Reel and Devin Bellamy. Following Bellamy, it'll be Jay Pope and Russ Markinak. And Matthew Whitney in the 00 to round things out. $11 drivers taking to Iowa tonight. We're going to definitely see the progressive banking and the multiple grooves come into effect tonight, as drivers are going to constantly judge whether the short bottom or the faster outside lane is producing better lap times, as well as what the tire wear is up to. Waiting for one more driver to get to the grid before we take the formation lap here around the 7/8 mile racetrack here in Iowa. 10 degrees of banking on the front stretch, 4 degrees on the back stretch, and 12 to 14 throughout the corner. A little bit of weaving there from Sean Hook as he tries to generate a little bit of heat in those tires. Everything matters when we're getting into the final round of the season coming up next week. Sean Hook in that 57. What can be done from that high groove? John Williams Sr. in the Mid-Pack Motorsports. His teammate alongside him. What can be done there? And do want to point out we have Jason Trockey in the Bart 2 machine, but also Fire for Effect machines up at the front as well. We'll keep our eyes peeled for them and their new paint schemes, brought to you by Bubba Meyers. Green, green, green is the flag color. And look at Jason Trockey's leap. He's going to find the middle, but it will be occupied by the number 2 of Derek Darby. A little bit of door banging between the 2 and the 46 as they argue over who deserved that middle groove. Sean Hook progresses his way around the outside and touches a little bit of that repaved asphalt in the middle of the corner. Jettisons out on the old stuff there and tries to slingshot his way into the lead of this one. Disconnect there for Sean Hook. John Williams, though, stays in it and stays committed to the low groove to avoid any incidents. It slots in single file line. I think not this early in this event. They're going to continue the side-by-side battle and leave Jason Trockey to pick up the pieces, and Derek Darby and Jason McCook having a bit of a moment in the background as the two drivers nearly came together, as one got loose and the other was able to pick up the pieces. Here we go. 57 leads the number 1, but just for the moment now, as the door was still left open for the number 1 of John Williams Sr., the Mid-Pack Motorsports team orders. Definitely not a thing between the two drivers right now. Chalky pulls out the fast lap of the race. He looks down low on John Williams Sr., gets a wheel well up the inside. He's going to carry the momentum all the way down to 3 and 4. Here we go. Chalky trying to make things happen for the Arca Series. Brought to you by Fire for Effect and broadcasted on Digital Racing Sports Network. Here we go. What can Chalky do to capitalize on this momentum that he's garnished now? He's getting pushed down to the apron by John Williams Sr., and he's giving the same respect by trying to go to the high side there. Little puff of smoke from Sean Hook out in front as he came down to the apron to try to expunge as much lap time as he possibly can. The 46 trying to use all the real estate that he can on the racetrack. There's the 00. That's the reason why we saw the puff of smoke on the earlier lap. We said the traffic was going to become a thing earlier on. 6 laps into it now. Matthew Whitney becomes the first car a lap down. Raises with the barrier for Jason Chalky means that he loses his ground. The number 1 is there to pick up the pieces. Jason Chalky slots back in single file line, but only for the moment as he pokes and peeks his way to John Williams Sr.'s door. Doesn't really act on it yet. Let's check in with the Fire for Effect organization. We have 3 of them running nose to tail right now, including Derek Darby, DJ Patterson, Christopher Reel, 4, and Jay Pope in the number 82. Take a good look at the Bubba Meyers paint schemes that were donated to the Fire for Effect Foundation. And as I said earlier, grab your Bubba Meyers paint schemes as quickly as possible because the orders are filling up. We're going to look as good as this on the racetrack. Bubba will do logo work, graphics work, and everything to make your car look as good as this on scene. The gaps now forming. Sean Hook leads by 1.8 seconds in front of John Williams Sr., Jason Chalky. About a half second back. Doesn't seem to have been given up, but he definitely wants to conserve those tires for later on in the stage. Team ASR and Jason McCook driving that number 3 to the podium. Well, he's a little far back, 3/4 of a second currently to Jason Chalky. Then Derek Darby, DJ Patterson, Christopher Reel, Jay Pope, Devin Bellamy, Matthew Whitney, Russ Markinack, rounding out the 11 drivers. Here's the 2 of Darby chasing down Jason McCook in that number 3. One of the things I do love about oval racing when we get a nice small grid like this, especially when it comes down to these Arca cars, is that we seldom see big ones. We seldom see big cautions. There's plenty of real estate for the drivers to negotiate position changes. There's plenty of wheel-to-wheel action early on in the run, and we'll see more of it throughout the stint. But it leads to some of this hot lapping, where the drivers are out there just running their own pace and battling against the stopwatch with each other on the same piece of tarmac at the same time, so slipstream can be gained and lost in a blink of an eye. Draft is very important. Help from a third car could be imperative to getting an overtake done. So this is a different type of racing than we're used to here at the Fire for Effect Foundation, with a smaller than normal grid size. But a beauty and a sight to see as we remain caution free for the first 18 laps of running. One of the things we will try to do is try to talk to the drivers during any caution periods that come out. Here's Jason Chalky falling back a little bit to the grips of Chasen McCook and Derek Darby now. Look at the head-to-head there. Jason McCook with the speed there, able to get by. Oh no, big spin. Devin Bellamy on his way into the pits. The number 44. And question here, John Williams Sr. now into the lead of this one in front of Sean Hook by a second. Chase McCook in third with Chalky in fourth. Get a replay of what happened here. So it did happen with the 00. Here's the one coming around. Oh, and there it is. Just a glimpse of it. The 57 clatters with the 44. And that's how the one overtakes the 57 there. How does that hurt Sean Hook now? As he's probably got some damage to that front end, but looks like we should keep our eyes peeled for Chalky, McCook, and Darby. As the trio right here, separated by about nothing. Chalky loses ground across the stripe, has to leave the door open, sees the writing on the wall, but the 2 doesn't take it. Wheel to wheel coming through one. It'll be a pinch there from Chalky to the number 2. And in the background, DJ Patterson watches on. A little bit of rubbing is racing between the 2 of Darby and the Bar 2 machine. Chalky loses ground yet again and may have burned up those tires a little too soon in this event. We'll have to see how it all pans out for Chalky, who's down one position right now. DJ Patterson trying to get past Jason Chalky, who's having a blimp on the system there. And he will lose ground by, I think, touching the wall coming out of 4. And that carries the momentum loss all the way down to the following time we come to 3. The door again open. There goes the 36 of DJ Patterson through and through on Chalky. Across the stripe, it's not done yet. A little bit of bumping over the undulations in the racetrack as it's not quite repaved there, but it is repaved throughout the corners. A little loose there for the number 36. Patterson has to keep the car underneath him for now. Up ahead, it's Hook and Darby. The 2 and the 3. What could be better but a spin from the 2? I think there might have been a touch there. Chase McCook being a likely culprit of this one. And that will be our first caution of the race. Let's go ahead and talk to the Mid-Pack Motorsports team. And see how their race is going. Chase McCook does get an EOL penalty for incident responsibility by the looks of it. And Matthew Whitney getting an end-of-line penalty. I thought that was going to be a wave around, actually. But no end-of-line there for Matthew Whitney. Pit lane for the Mid-Pack Motorsports and Team ASR. Well, it looks like pit lane coming alive for the entirety of the field. We'll get through the pit stops before we start talking to the drivers, but it will be a black flag for Chase McCook for speeding in the pits. And a little bit of teammate on teammate violence on pit exit as Sean Hook leapfrogs John Williams Sr. now. Now we can go ahead and talk to the Mid-Pack Motorsports organization and see how things are going here. Hey guys, this is Sagar Bakshi from the broadcast booth. Just wanted to check in with the Mid-Pack Motorsports team if that's okay.
Oh, yes, sir.
Absolutely.
How are things going, Hook and Williams? You guys have been going wheel to wheel for the opening half of this race. Until the caution came out, I didn't think it was going to stop, but then the 57 you came in touch with, I think that was going to be 44 of Devin Bellamy, really hurt your charge.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened there. I think it might have been Pope, but he just, I don't know, he just slammed the wall on 3 and 4. I don't know if he just didn't know it was there or not, and he just cut all the way down to pit road, and I was coming. But I got no damage from it somehow, so the car's fine. I still have my fast repair in case something happens, but yeah, we got some pretty good pieces out here, so.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I mean, you guys running in that 1-2. It doesn't look like team orders are definitely in effect tonight. Talk to us about what you guys are trying to do as a team or trying to do individually.
Teammates till the end, brother. Just lead all the laps. Mid-Pack 1-2. No matter the order, we'll figure that out at the end.
Yeah, we'll race each other with a lot of respect. We'll race hard but clean, and come up with a good result here, hopefully.
Sounds good. Is there anybody you guys would like to shout out, or anybody that you guys would like to thank on behalf of Mid-Pack Motorsports?
Each other.
Yeah, shout out all mid-pack. Shout out to all my family watching. In the league and the podcast
Jake
team.
Lesh.
Jake Lesh. Wish he could be here right now, but I think he's still fishing, ain't he?
Yeah.
Not a bad place to be. Enjoy the restart, guys. Good luck, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was Sean Hook and John Williams Sr. from the Mid-Pack Motorsports organization. Green, green, green is in the air. And here comes Sean Hook and John Williams Sr. Jason Trockey trying to slot in single file and not lose touch this time. Derek Darby in the background in that number 2 chases down the 82 of Jay Pope. That may have been involved in that earlier incident, but he looks clean now. Jay Pope looks at the inside line on that DJ Patterson number 36, and he gets loose, but the quick hands able to recover. And the Fire for Effect machine of Pope will tumble in behind his teammates. Or perhaps not, as he goes wheel to wheel with teammates, as it was said earlier from the Hook and Williams. Teammates to the end, but the 1-2 will get settled towards the checkered flag rather than being debated about now. Christopher Reel in that number 13. Getting caught up behind his teammates as Chase McCook in that recovery drive behind him. After getting the end of line penalty, he's still down 3 positions on the night. Gets up to the inside of the 13, who opens the door. Christopher Reel said, I want nothing to do with that. Got on the brakes a little bit on corner exit. That was a drift in the background. Devin Bellamy getting absolutely sideways. I think he's going to have to come down pit road here, as he's crab walking like a trucker. Jason McCook chased down by Christopher Reel in that number 13. Let's take a look on board at Christopher Reel. So far, a low of P8, but the high side has been P5 for Reel. Can he come back and can he deliver for the Fire for Effect Foundation? Well, we'll check in here as Sean Hook, John Williams Sr., and Jason Trockey, the trio. 1, 2, 3, at least separated by about 1.5 seconds right now. Derek Darby in a good position to attack Jay Pope. But will he do so as the Fire for Effect organization teammates are still trying to work together to get up to the front before they battle for the front? Cheers in chat for Sean Hook. Appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate the love and support. Hook leads Williams by only a second right now. It stays tight between the two drivers. You can see Hook and Williams in the same shot right now, but the pace has definitely been there for Sean Hook. 2:3.43 is the fast lap compared to a 2:3.49 from John Williams Sr. Both drivers right now almost into the 24s or creeping thereabouts. 23.9s last time by. Jay Pope keeps on flirting with that apron coming out of 3 and 4. Gotta be a little bit careful there because here comes Derek Darby. A little bump into the 82, a little kiss into the barrier. And chug-a-lugging along is going to be the 3 of Chasen McCook. Take advantage of the momentum loss there. 82 J Pope tries to snap back in retaliation. On exit, gets a good amount of traction, but he's free and clear. Not. And Chase McCook is. Oh no, a spin in the background, and that'll bring out our second caution of the event. At the 1/3 mark, it will be because Chasen McCook having a spin. And DJ Patterson came to a screeching halt there. Let's see what happens here. Oh, they come together, Jay Pope and Chasen McCook. And then spins him right round, baby. Right round like a record, baby. And beautiful spin. I don't think that we will see another caution quite like that. Pit lane becomes alive again. Sean Hook, John Williams Sr., Jason Chalky, Derek Darby onto the pits. Christopher Reel deciding, though, he wants to stay out. Darby gets an end of line penalty. And so does Jay Pope. This is going to promote Reel, McCook, and Pope. Well, maybe not Pope. But it will promote them to the lead of this one. But they came in on lap 34. That was 21 laps ago. Here, the decision is called quickly as pit lane was still open. Yeah, that makes the most sense. This will hand the wave around to Matthew Whitney, who will get a lap back because of it. And the lucky dog going the way for Devin Bellamy. No, Jay Pope gets a black flag. But that one is cleared now. This lead us into another important key to the race, the field. Arriving at the opening corner, tightly packed with several lanes competing for the same space. at turn 1. On these restarts, it's super critical to get there and be there with the real estate that you expect to have. Maintain your ground and don't give up the fight. Wave round in effect for Whitney now. That means we'll go green in just about a lap. Whitney has got to get up and out of the way. Otherwise, this is going to be a messy restart. There they go. And here we go. Back and bunched up. It's back to the Mid-Pack Motorsports team to square things off, but we will get one more lap behind the pace car, as I doubt Race Control was happy with the formation. Yes, we will get picked up by the pace car and get one more lap at least behind it. And that gives Devin Bellamy a chance to get another lucky dog. But green flag in the restart zone. I'm not sure if that's where Bellamy was supposed to be. But we'll find out here shortly. 57 in the 1 take off together. They begin chugging along down the back stretch and into 3 and 4. A little tight there for the 57. Maintains his ground, looking further back. Jay Pope in the FFE organization dukes it out with Christopher Reel in the number 13. Both drivers looking pretty snazzy in their Bubba Meyers paint schemes. Matthew Whitney in a bit of trouble again. We'll be at the infield across the stripe, and hopefully we don't see a caution because of it. Up ahead between Hook and Williams, it's just separated by 0.2 of a second. And we'll have to see if Sean Hook is able to reconnect. There he is. He's back in it. And drifting his way back on the exit of turn number 2, Sean Hook keeps on scaring us a little bit with those disconnects. Sean Hook leads in the number 57, but not by nearly as much as he wants to, I'm sure. as he built up a nearly 1 second gap earlier on in this event. Now, because of the cautions, it's dwindled back down. Jason McCook here in the number 3. Having a bit of a roller coaster ride this event. Low of P8 towards the back of the pack, but has been able to catch up every now and then. Back up into 4th position for McCook after coming down pit road and taking foreign fuel during the first caution period on lap 33. Then taking another pit stop here on lap 56 and again taking foreign fuel. Jason McCook negotiating a little bit of real estate with Matthew Whitney in the 00. Whitney back down to being a lap back. John Williams Sr. currently running in 2nd position, is in a bit of a sandwich right now. He's got 3/4 of a second to the front where he's outside the draft from Sean Hook, and he's a bit too far forward from Chalky to get any assistance from him. And it is Jason Chalky, and he does see the writing on the wall, so I doubt Chalky's going to help him out. Or perhaps Chalky could work with the number 1 of John Williams Sr. and push forward to catch up to Hook. That might be the strategy of the race. Let's find out. We heard the cheers in chat for Hook early on in this event. Let's see if it all pans out. Chalky having a little bit of a mistake there, finds the barriers on exit of 4. Chalky needs to focus on getting the consistent laps down. Corner exit, because Iowa short straightaways make every exit important. He's sitting prime right now for a podium. But Jason McCook really could change all of that, as he was 2/10 faster that last lap by. Jason Chalky in that 46 bar tool machine. Getting chased down is not a good feeling to have. Came in on lap 55 though, so we should expect to see the pit stops come in maybe around 30 laps from there. So there's 7 laps or so of running. Chase McCook continues to chase down here at Iowa. And John Williams Sr. continues to slip back a little bit as we look at the last lap times there. Although the running order may look calm right now, let's look at what's changing over the next couple laps. No position changes yet, but the gaps are moving. And that becomes the story when the checkered flag falls. The gap starts to come down. Chalky with a mistake there. Jason McCook ready to capitalize, but he is expressing a little bit of patience now. Patience becomes part of the race. Nobody wants to use up the car chasing a position that might come naturally later. These are the laps where drivers are gathering information. Where is the car tight? Where is it loose? And where will they need adjustments? Chalky down low, keeps on defending with his big wiggles. I think the writing might be on the wall for him, and gives up the run coming into 3. And there's McCook not quite taking it. Chalky leaves the door open to be complicit. But what happens here? What happened to the change for the lead? As the 57 just disconnected and came back. No thing to see there. Back over to the Chalky battle. It's Derek Darby now in the mix now. Chase McCook was able to get ahead while we were looking at that replay. Take a look at that one. Signed, sealed, and delivered from McCook. And now Darby also ahead of Chalky. Chalky getting very loose on corner entry. Think those tires are starting to scream for help. Here's McCook and Darby. And they're losing ground with Chalky behind them. Here's where traffic now comes into the conversation. There's the 00 of Matthew Whitney again. Staying away from Whitney. The 3 and the 2 avoid using all of the track there, and now it looks like the groove is approaching the middle part of the racetrack, at least through 1 and 2. Oh no, there comes Derek Darby. The Fire for Effect number 2. Chugging his way forward, uses the low side, the short way around the racetrack, might end up being the fastest way around, and he's trying to find himself a podium this evening. Up ahead, though, it'll be Sean Hook and John Williams Sr. going wheel to wheel in just a few moments, as their gap has also come down. Wheel to wheel, coming through 3 and 4 on exit. They separate themselves out in a healthy fashion. Derek Darby isn't quite done with this one yet. They're going to bump uglies on the exit of 2. And McCook ready to throw down for the final spot in the podium. I hope this battle never ends and the side-by-side rages on for the remaining 54 laps. In the background of this one, Jason Chalky is dealing with Christopher Reel as well. Number 13 and that 36 of DJ Patterson, who's a lap down, or more than a lap down. He's going to be 2 laps down, and came in on lap 54 for emergency services to get the car repaired. Darby and McCook nose to tail. The 3 and the 2 duke it out for the top spot, or the last spot on the podium, I should say, while Chalky and the 13 of Reel still contend for best of the rest. Chalky trying to hold on, but when is enough for these tires? And coming down pit road is the prime solution. Jay Pope is the first driver to think enough is enough as he comes in here on lap 10. Well, it'll be 100 for him. 102 for the rest of the field. And Jay Pope gets his service and will roll out a pit lane after 15 seconds of service. Derek Darby and McCook continue their battle that I requested to last all race long. They sure are providing us with that excitement. There's Whitney down below the apron, and the caution gets called, I believe, for that incident. That'll be the worst call ever for the likes of Jay Pope that just came in the pits, as he has a black flag to add insult to injury now. But it might be the best thing for the likes of Sean Hook, John Williams Sr., Chase McCook, and the rest of the field, because they all get a free pit stop out of this one. We're going to take a quick commercial break for the Bubba Meyers commercial. We'll be right back in just a second. Don't go anywhere.
Whenever you can control the entire field, essentially, you got Hunter Sr., Nick Abiak, Josh Adams all together in the top four.
Into turns 3 and 4 for the final time here at Charlotte. Checkered flag, Sebastian Marin wins on HMS TV.
And we're back, folks. After a quick commercial break, we'll be back squared up Noah's Ark formation here shortly, but the pit stops being concluded will be the number 1 in front of the 57 now. Then Darby. Then Jason McCook, Christopher Reel, Jason Trockey, Jay Pope. Might get the lucky dog here in just a second, but he is sitting with a black flag penalty to add insult to injury. So despite getting a lucky dog, will fall to the back of the pack at the end of the day. So Patterson actually getting the lucky dog now. And Jay Pope now sitting with a meatball flag. There must be something going on with the timing tower. I apologize, folks. There's no way. Back over to John Williams and Sean Hook to take the green flag here. Derek Darby tries to throw his elbows out with one of the leaders of the race, the number 57 of Sean Hook and the Big Pack Motorsports organization. We're going to exchange a couple of paint jobs coming through turn number 2. In through 3, they give themselves a little bit more separation until we get down to the apex, and on exit, they give each other room again. Falling in single file line, the 2 trails the 57 of Sean Hook. Jason Trockey trying to go for redemption here. Did come in on lap 105 as well. Had a quick pit stop at 15:15 and loses a position, though, right before we took that caution to Jason McCook for Team ASR. Sean Hook with low fuel and fresh tires, able to find a new fast lap of the race as the grip keeps on changing. 23:41 last time by. Scratch that. It's now a 23:38 as Sean Hook continues to snatch away fast laps from the rest of the field. Truckee in pursuit of Jason McCook. He's a little bit faster that last time by, 23.4 compared to the 23.5 of McCook up ahead. He has to keep it up, but so do these gentlemen. The 1 and the 57 need to keep it up. But I'm sure they were wishing that it wasn't with each other on the racetrack that they were dealing with, but someone else. Hook could win this one. He's in a prime spot with under 40 to go. Wheel to wheel through 3 and on the exit of 4. It will be tight, and it's also going to be tight in the background between McCook and Darby. Jason Truckee trying to get things done as well. Up ahead, the side-by-side battle gets settled down to 1 and the 57. Going wheel to wheel, coming into 3 and 4. 57 has the traction and the low run, but can't get enough momentum to get there at turn number 1. Perhaps it can change itself around for Jason Truckee, who's at the back of this three-way battle. Sean Hook makes a pass for the lead, but John Williams is there to defend it back. Wheel to wheel, coming into the final 30 laps of this event. John Williams Sr. and Sean Hook ready to leave it all on the line. .30 laps left to go, and the battle for P1 still remains as feisty and fierce as can be. Not only is it fast and furious up at the front, it's furious here as well. Jason McCook locked in combat with Derek Darby and Jason Truckee. .57 with a look of a stamp and a send on the number 1 of John Williams Sr. Over to the restart zone. It's still undecided who's the faster of the pairing. Yes, the fast lap of the event goes to Sean Hook, but last time by, they're equally matched. A little bit loose on exit of 2 for Sean Hook, but can he maintain ground on his attack? He's throwing everything he possibly can at it. "26 laps left to go. It's definitely not over yet, but Williams might have given everything he could have. And Sean Hook did everything he needed to. Is it all over? Look back here as McCook chases down Darby and continues to try to defend Jason Shockey back in the 46. Christopher Reel tries to chase down Jason Shockey in that bar tool orange and white number 46. He's about a half second back right now. And trying to climb back up into it. There's the 00 again of Matthew Whitney. That will breed an interesting moment for Shockey to try to get past, but should be able to do so. Whitney's been a great participant in this event up until this point. Staying up out of the way, up to the high side, and staying predictable as all racing drivers should be. The rest of the field cuts through and gets through relatively easily. That's DJ Patterson and the number 36. He will be chasing down the 13, but he is a lap down. So this is going to be a battle, yes, on track for position, but not the way that you normally think. Devin Bellamy in the 44 comes down pit road during green flag conditions. Beautiful shot here from the blimp. You see how tiny and tight 7/8 mile racetrack is here of Iowa. Oh no, we've got a spin. We've got a spin. Who is that? That's not Truckee. Is that Whitney again, maybe? Yeah, Whitney with another crash. And that'll tighten things up between Reel and Truckee. There we go, down to the low side. Christopher Reel tries to make moves on Jason Truckee. Using the short way around the racetrack can be an advantage, but the 46 Jet Fab machine rubs up against the wall on exit of 2. Does that hurt him enough to lose out the top 5? I think it does, as Chalky slots back in, but down low goes Christopher Real in his pursuit of his points tonight. The gap opens up at the front to nearly 2 seconds between Hook and Williams now. And then the gap between John Williams and Derek Darby has come down, actually, to just under 0.4 of a second. Keep our eyes peeled on this, because with 12 laps left to go, things seem to be fading away for John Williams. Derek Darby trying to slingshot his way around the outside. Now back in line. Steps out and tries to get a switchback engaged towards the stripe, but to no avail. Can Derek Darby find himself a podium tonight? Even better than a podium is being in the middle of the podium. A little loose there at the apex as the two got a little squirrely. You could see the car moving and bouncing around quite a bit there. Here comes Darby. There it is, the move, and spooks John Williams into leaving so much room to the inside. There's smoke, and where there's smoke, there's cautions. DJ Patterson came together with Devin Bellamy. See what happened here. Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one between Bellamy and Patterson. And that'll bring out our fourth caution of the race, and I believe this will send us into green-white checker territory, so expect to see everybody come down pit road. So Chalky gets hit with a black flag that looks like it's instantly cleared. So hopefully everything turns out all right there, but it will be a battle in the pit stops. 57 is the driver to take off first. Darby in second. John Williams in third. Chase McCook in fourth. Real in fifth. And Chalky tumbles down to sixth. Black flag there for Patterson, number 36 by the looks of it. This will be a quick mad dash to the checkered flag, folks. And everybody on the lead lap has come down pit road. The top 6 still in it to win it. Here we go, ready to go racing again. 2 laps left to go. It's been the 57 and the 2 all night long. Now we get a last lap showdown. Into the restart zone, the 57 takes off to the inside line, tries to cover off his teammate of Derek Darby and John Williams Sr., his teammate, but Darby is the driver caught in the middle between the Fire for Effect and the Mid-Pack Motorsports team. Chase McCook running in 4th position for the number 3, all the way up to 4th. Not too shabby of a recovery drive for McCook. Chalky trying to do things with his fresh rubber and looks to the inside line on Chase McCook, but no doings this time around. A little bit of bumping and banging up against the walls there, but no love lost between drivers and the inanimate object that is Iowa. White flag this time by. That puts us on the final attempts for the rest of the field. Darby is definitely under attack from that number 1 of John Williams Sr. No doing at 1 and 2. He's a little too far back at 3 to do anything this time by, but it will go this way. At the end of the night, Sean Hook gets victory over Derek Darby. John Williams Sr. rounds out the podium here for the Fire for Effect race event. Go ahead, enjoy your celebrations, and burn it down, Sean. Let's go ahead and take a look at the results. It was Sean Hook, Derek Darby, and John Williams Sr. The 1, 2, 3. Then it was Chasen McCook, Jason Chalky, Christopher Reel, DJ Patterson, Devin Bellamy, Matthew Whitney, Jay Pope, and then Russ Markinack to round out the 11 drivers. Let's go ahead and talk to the drivers that are ready to be interviewed. First, we'll talk to none other than John Williams. It will be John Williams who came home in third. We talked to you early on in this event, having a great time with the Mid-Pack Motorsports driver of Sean Hook, but then Derek Darby joined the conversation. Talk to us about what happened when Darby joined the race towards the end of it.
Yeah, me and my teammate Jaggy, Sean, we ran hard there on that restart, and I ran the top for about 10 laps in a row and just kind of burnt my stuff up. Then I had a huge slide off the front straightaway, and I kind of just cooked the tires there. So it allowed Darby to get up there, and he had a pretty fast piece, so he was able to get me there. And podium's still great, man. P3 is good. Just kind of racing this thing for fun, and I enjoyed it.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about, is just being here for the fun of it and wanting to hang out with a good group of teammates. Now, talk to us about the teammate strategy tonight with Mid-Pack Motorsports. How did that fare out for you, or did it come into effect at all?
No strategy. We just built 2 rockets and, raced it out. I hope we put on a show there for that 10, 15 laps where we were side by side, and it felt like 10, 15. I don't even know how long it was, but yeah, no strategy, man. Just build 2 rockets and then go out here and kick everybody's ass, which we did. And, Darby was able to join the party there at the end. So proud of my teammate, and we'll get ready for the A Open on Sunday.
Absolutely. It looked like a heck of a time out there tonight. John, who would you like to shout out and who would you like to thank on the podium here from Iowa?
You guys put on the broadcast, obviously, everybody in Major League Sim Racing. The Arca guys, man, y'all, the Arca guys are pretty cool to do it for veterans. And everybody in Mid-Pack Motorsports, me, Sean Hook, Jacob Lesh, Georgia Company Heating and Cooling, it's league sponsor. Not on the car tonight, but I can't forget them. Loco Exteriors on my truck and cup car. Shady Designs. So just thankful to everybody for putting this thing on so we get to play on our free time.
Thank you for supporting Major League Sim Racing, and thank you very much for, importantly, supporting the Fire and For Effect Foundation. Thank you very much, and have a great night, John. Excuse me. Stay safe out there.
You too, buddy. Thank you.
Next up, we'll talk to Derek Darby, as Sean's on my mind right now. He'll be the last one we talk to. Derek Darby slingshotted his way up into P2 before the end of the night. Derek Darby, were you as puckered up as I were for the final restart of the race when you were trying to defend back the likes of John Williams?
I was, man. It was what a great race. First and foremost, shout out to Sean and John, John for the great race there. Battling back, passing John for second place, and then that caution comes out. I definitely didn't want to see that just because of how fast Sean and John were all night. But able to put down a nice restart and keep John behind me, finish P2. So great result for sure.
Absolutely. It was a great result. As the leading Fire for Effect driver, how does it feel to be on the podium tonight as we head into the final race of the season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it feels good to be in the top spot. I haven't looked at the point standings after today's result, but should still be leading the championship with 1 week to go. It's definitely in the position that you want to be in.
Absolutely. On tonight's podium here from Iowa, who would you like to shout out and who would you like to thank, Derek?
For sure. Yeah. First and foremost, I'd like to thank, my son, Cooper, and my wife, Christina, for, giving me the opportunity to race like this. He's hanging out on the couch behind us on the tablet. I'd like to give a shout out to my chat. We're live on TikTok right now. I'm always being there to support me. Fire for Effect, obviously, for having us, RKM, for the setups. And I appreciate you guys for covering the race. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you, Derek, for supporting the Fire for Effect Foundation. Have a great night and stay safe out there.
Cheers.
Last but not least, we'll go ahead and grab Sean Hook and drag him into the broadcast booth for the Mid-Pack Motorsports. It ended up being P1 for the driver from San Antonio. Talk to us about the keys to the race and how are you able to pull it off, Sean?
I'm exhausted. It was tough. I mean, the car drove pretty good. 1 and 2 was super gripped up the entire time, and then the only real sketchy part was off of 4. But as as the race went on, we were realizing the track was getting really tight. Like the track was getting so much tighter the later in the race. So having to adjust that with the driving style and everything. But no, it was a pretty decent race overall. Feel like John and I had the two best pieces, and then that last restart, when I was behind him, once we got to battle, and we battled super hard for I don't know how many laps side by side. Didn't touch one time, so that was awesome. And then I think doing that, we kind of burnt up our stuff a little bit, and that allowed the two to get there. And then John had a moment off of four, I think, and he slid all the way down to the apron. That didn't help his tires anymore. But yeah, just a rocket ship. We kind of this is the Phoenix setup we had built, and then just made a few adjustments from that. So it's kind of cool to have that setup get 2 wins at 2 different tracks. Other than that, I mean, pretty smooth race for the most part, except for early incident with the lap car. That was kind of crazy, but no damage. But glad that I narrowly escaped that one.
Yeah, that was definitely a close call. That could have been race ending at the end of the day, but thankfully not so. You know, in that 57, Sean Hook for Mid-Pack Motorsports, who'd you like to shout out and who'd you like to thank here in Victory Lane?
I'd just like to shout out Mid-Pack Motorsports, John and Jake specifically. It's a shame Jake couldn't be here, but he's out doing fishing stuff, so that's not too bad of a place to be. So missing him and hoping he gets back soon. We can all share the racetrack once again. Yeah, shout out to the field tonight. It was a pretty decent race overall. Shout out to you for broadcasting, of course. It's always fun to go back and watch, especially when you get a decent result. Yeah, shout out to the league and all of them, and that's about it, really. Shout out to my family for watching. My brother Chris is watching. He every time I'm racing, he's watching. He goes, "Hook will win," and I normally don't end up winning. So he told me earlier today to win, to not make him look bad. So hopefully I did that today. But that's about it.
Right on. Thank you very much, Sean Hook, and thank you very much to Little Hook in the chat. He did say Hook will win earlier on.
There you go.
He did say you were the GOAT as well. So
Perfect.
he's here supporting you. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you, Sean Hook. Have a great night, brother, and stay safe out there.
You too.
It looks like that's going to be it, folks, for our drivers. Really appreciate you joining us. Really appreciate you staying tuned, whether you're watching live now or in the future. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or ring the bell to get notifications for when we're live here on Fire for Effect or the Digital Racing Sports Network. Have a great night, everybody, but most importantly, make sure you stay safe out there. Goodbye for now.